Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Punit Sindhwani, who is the founder of Paxcom India, which is an omni-channel retail platform. Hi, Mr. Punit. Welcome to ELI.
Thank you, Priya. Good to be here.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience. Give us a little a bit about your background prior to entrepreneurship. You can tell us about your childhood. Where did you study? And how did you land up in entrepreneurship? And after that, please tell us a little bit about Paxcom. What kind of company it is? What does it do?
Sure. So you've quite a few things to cover over there. So I'm a software engineer by background. So I'm actually started, my education is electronics engineering from Mumbai University. After that, I got intrigued by computers and softwares. And then I started learning on my own software engineering. And then for the first few years, I did the job as a software engineer in India with a company called Dellsoft, and then I moved to US in '96. After a few years of software development, in 2001, I started a company in India called Paxcom Technologies. So that was my first venture. In fact, it was the second venture. Prior to that, I had a very small co-founding role in a venture in US.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual journey started with the company Paxcom. And Paxcom, launched in 2001, but actually started operations in 2003 January.
Mm-hmm.
And Paxcom was about a software engineering firm, a product engineering firm. At that time, motivation was that there were not really many product engineering firms in India. And
Mm-hmm.
there were mostly firms around consulting or services, custom development. But we wanted to focus on product development. If we could bring product development to India, if we could convince companies to outsource their entire product development to India, because we felt that we could do a really good, superior job of the entire product lifecycle, not just some small part of our software development. That's how 2003, Paxcom came into existence. We started with a team of one, then grew to a team of five within 1 month, and then from there on, for first about 8 years, so 8 years, we grew that business, from one to five to about 120 or so by 2011. We were doing business with multiple clients in United States. Had a distributed team between offices in Gurgaon and Mohali. So that was going well. We were doing really good product development, and when we say product development, we were in charge of end-to-end product development for our clients.
Mm-hmm.
So by 2011, as we were doing, this product development, we started thinking, we know how to develop a product. We are really passionate about technology, where we can apply these things that we have learned into something of our own also, not just, where we are developing product for others. So that's where, the next venture started. We said, okay, let's apply this into retail and e-commerce. And how retail and e-commerce came into picture was, my close friend from college was into retail, and he was doing quite well into retail, and he had a very good grasp into product, where to procure from, and even to manufacture those products. And we thought that we could bring in technology and get retail into e-commerce. So that's how the next venture started in 2011, which was Mirchi Mart. And that was it was, what we conceived as the first omni-channel retail in India. So this was before Amazon came into India. At that time, mostly it was Flipkart and a couple of other sites like Let's Buy or something, which were doing e-commerce. But while they were doing e-commerce, we wanted to do omni-channel. So we started with our physical stores. So we said, okay, let's have 7 or 8 physical stores across NCR, and then we'll have our own brand portal, we'll have our own mobile app, and we'll also see, where the customers are, and where the customers can start the journey and where they can end the purchase journey. So when Amazon came to India in 2012, we were one of the first few platforms they onboarded as a seller on the platform. So that was an extension to our sales channel. So now we have physical retails. Now we had our own brand store, and we were also present on Amazon. And then Flipkart, when they migrated to marketplace model, we became seller on Flipkart also. So in a sense, though, that was a true omni-channel. Hey, you can start your research journey or purchase journey from any channel and uh, you know uh, actual purchase at any, whether it's a physical or our own store or Amazon or Flipkart.
Mhm.
So that's how the foray into e-commerce happened. From 2011 till about 2014, we were doing decently well in e-commerce. I think we were like $5 or $6 million in revenue within the first few years, and we were doing well on the platforms. We were doing well on our e-commerce, our own brand store also. However, it was also something which was burning cash, and with Amazon and Flipkart going a lot more aggressive in 2013, 2014, we were finding it really hard to compete with them on prices and other stuff.
Mhm.
So in 2014, is when the next pivot happened. We said, look, we have acquired some of the knowledge. We understand e-commerce is not an easy business, but e-commerce is also a business which allows brands and retailers to have a tremendous growth. So from our experience, we were an NCR-based company, but we were getting orders from Northeast, we were getting orders from South, and we were getting orders from, of course, in all the parts of North India.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we are also realizing the challenge in fulfilling them across all the channels on Amazon, on our physical store, on our brand store, and realizing that keeping inventory, managing orders is not really easy, and keeping track of customer feedbacks, reviews, making sure customers are happy, it's not easy. So we had built some technologies. We thought, okay, maybe it's time to pivot from, instead of selling ourselves, we actually enable brands who are really good in maintaining the inventory, who are really good in sourcing and understanding which product should be in the market. And we, rather than becoming a B2C or B2B retailer, we actually become a software and services provider. So in 2015, we pivoted from an e-commerce.com, B2C.com, to actually a provider ourselves, a software and services provider into. So that's where Paxcom was born.
Mhm.
So Paxcom is like started the journey in 2015. And we started with the mindset and the vision that we are going to enable people to simplify e-commerce. So our aspect was that, look, it is really complex. There are so many different parts to running an e-commerce business, from inventory to product to customer service to promotions, sales, marketing. That what we're going to do is we're going to simplify the e-commerce for different cohorts. Whether it's brand and whether it is retailers. Different.
Mhm.
So we started, our first product was actually going to be a centralized order and inventory management system, which would, where a retailer could come in, put in inventory, and just distribute it across all the different channels and manage the order.
Mhm.
However, we also got an opportunity to work with like a leading brand, a leading beverage company of the world. They approached us and were interested in a different kind of a model where we could give them intelligence, not just inventory management across these channels. So that's where our second line of the product, was born, which was about, okay, look, we know a whole lot of data on these channels. So there's a lot of public information available on these channels. What if we can get intelligence and tell where the opportunities are, where the risks are, where the threats are, and what you should be doing as a business to grow e-commerce.
Mhm.
So now we had two product lines. One was, your order inventory management, and second was intelligence, business intelligence. And that's how we started growing the business. So from our first customer in 2015, we acquired few more customers in 2016. And then 2016 onwards, the journey of the growth started. Pandemic accelerated it. Now we serve about 150 brands in India. Our monetization model is, it's a SaaS product. People pay on subscription depending on what they want to track, like what intelligence they want to subscribe to. We can give them intelligence on inventory levels. We can give them intelligence on pricing level. We can give them intelligence on the three P's, product, promotion, pricing, and then whatever they subscribe to is, how much they pay for. It's a profitable venture. We, because the software as a service model, they subscribe to it. We get paid. Uh, we additionally, we also offer services. So if our intelligence, so let's say we give an intelligence that your product content needs optimization, right?
Mhm.
And then we can give specifics also, what specific optimization should happen so that product is more appealing to buyers on, let's say, Amazon. Now, a customer can take that intelligence, use their internal team or agency to optimize the content, or if they don't have that either bandwidth or know-how, then we also have a services division that says, okay, look, I can do this optimization for you based on the insights that our tool is throwing up. So that is a business model, right now with Paxcom.
Okay.
Right now, we
The
serve
SaaS model.
across the globe. We have clients across the globe now. We serve all the markets now, not just India. So we'll serve US, we serve Australia, we serve Middle East, we serve Africa, Southeast Asia. So all the markets right now we serve.
Hmm. So I also understand that Paxcom was acquired by another entity. So tell us about, how did the transition happen?
Sure,
When did it?
sure.
Yeah.
So it happened in 2019. So in 2018, as so this is pre-pandemic. So we are growing significantly. So from one client, we had about 25 odd clients by that time, and we had a decent amount of revenue. So looking into possibility of growing into US market. So I came to Seattle to with the mindset that we're going to open a US an office, and then we'll start getting into the North American market. That's where we met founder of Paymentus. We started talking, and then it clicked that Paymentus can provide us support. They had a decent amount of base in North America, both in terms of logistics and in terms of financial support, as well as they're a payments company. We thought somewhere e-commerce and payments come together
Mhm.
as a play, and that's what triggered that it could help accelerate the growth in terms of providing all the logistic and financial and the payment support, and that's how the transaction happened in 2019.
Gotcha. So just one thing I would like to understand. So the e-commerce platforms, they're known for not sharing complete data with the customer. So help us understand what kind of data do we extract from these platforms, and what sort of intelligence do we provide to our end customer using our platform?
Right. So look, it's not that these platforms don't share data. They do share data with their customers. However, it is shared in a protected manner. They don't just go about sharing all sorts of data. However, if you're a customer, then you get all sorts of data from these platforms. It starts with the sales figures. So you can of course get set sales figures. You can get some category, benchmarking, and of course, as the brand themselves are selling. Right. So let's say our customer. So one of our customer, is since they're directly selling, they know how much they're selling.
Mm-hmm.
They get the category benchmarks. They know how much they're putting the money in, and then some information like reviews and others is available online, like bestseller rank, reviews, etc. Right? So we actually combine multiple sources of data, and one part is that we do it for who our customers are. So customers share their data with us. They would share their sales, they would share their offtake, they would share their promotion spend, etc. And then we collect and correlate this data within what is available on public, like bestseller rank or reviews, and then we combine them into an intelligence for them.
So another thing, as a platform, I see there are multiple pivots and evolutions happening over time. Uh, so tell us, what is the next trajectory of Paxcom? What kind of platform we are going to become probably in next 5 years time?
Correct. So there are two parts to it. One path is, of course, these days machine learning and AI is impacting almost every facets of life, right? And for us, it is even more important because we collect a lot of data, and when we collect a lot of data, we can see patterns, and we can use those patterns to predict. So, for example, right now we may say how to optimize inventory based on set, but machine learning can help us, or AI can help us a lot more in terms of what product, what inventory, what media channel, etc. That it should be promoted on, or what pricing, what product. So whatever we are doing would be accelerated, is being accelerated with the implementation of ML and AI algorithms into the platform. So one is that the intelligence becomes more and more human like rather than a machine like, which is right now. So right now we collect data, we show it to the customer, but we still like customer to correlate or infer from different intelligence.
Mhm.
One significant is going to be, I think that machine is going to be able to take lot more decisions. So
Mhm.
on behalf of customers. So that's one path is, continue this path, but the intelligence becomes more relevant and more actionable, and including the point that machine itself start taking action rather than relying on you to take action.
Mhm.
So I can tell you what inventory level should be, but what action needs to be taken, right? How can I automate that part itself? So that's one trajectory. And then the second trajectory is actual commerce. Like I said, um, how can we help the transaction part? So like we recently launched a software which helps in e-commerce on restaurant, cafes, or small merchants, right?
Mhm.
So how can we accelerate the adoption for small and medium size business onto e-commerce, not just the large platform? So large platform can buy intelligence, but how can that intelligence accelerate actual going live of a small or medium um, a business? So
Mhm.
that is going to be the trajectory for next few years.
Got it. Now we'll try to understand your personal journey as an entrepreneur. So take us back to year 2000, 2001 when you were just starting out as an entrepreneur. So tell us what inspired entrepreneurship. I think you were employed in high paying jobs. So why did you change your path into entrepreneurship? What triggered it?
Now, it's a hard to define that trigger point, and I look back and try to understand. But I think there were couple of motivating factors. So one motivating factor was that I wanted to do something in India. So that was one motivating factor. And second motivating factor was that at that time, uh, you know, while India softwares had really good reputation, companies doing work in India didn't have that good a reputation. It was more like, a low end or small bits and pieces or a maintenance kind of a work rather than actual cutting edge, product development.
Hmm.
So one motivation was that, we really wanted to create a high end software engineering firm. And the second was in terms of the culture. There's a big motivation around how the work should happen or how the organization uh, culture should be, and uh, so this is 2001, before people had heard of things like work from home, or people had heard about things like unlimited vacation, etc., right? But we wanted to experiment with these things and say, look, can an organization have a relationship which is mutually equal between team members and the company? So it's
Mhm.
not like companies at a higher pedestal, it's at an equal relationship, and where and a team member comes to the company because they want to, and they take a leave because they want to, and they don't take a leave because they don't want to. They want to work from home because they want to,
Mhm.
keeping in line that okay, that company goals and individual goals are same. So we wanted to experiment with organization structure, org structure or org culture. That was the second motivation. So between those two motivations, felt like it's time to try something, and that's what triggered that push.
Uh, So when you started, I think you started as a software engineer. You are good at software, you know how to build things. But entrepreneurship also requires a skill of selling, convincing people about joining your vision, and selling to customers, selling to employees, selling to everybody. So every day you just sell your idea, vision, and motivate people. So tell us, how did you adapt the sales part of the entrepreneurship, and what were the initial challenges, if there were any, of convincing people to join your venture, and selling to new clients, building the market.
So actually, I'm not a very good salesperson. I'm very shy, and no, I don't like, making cold calls or that sort of sales. Um, and I never considered myself, who would be able to motivate others to join something or not. However, what I realized is that when it came to technology, I was very passionate about talking about it, and I was very passionate about the culture we wanted to build and the kind of company we wanted to build. So the first set of people that we attracted, were because we were very sincere in our approach that, hey, what we want to do is build a really high-end engineering firm, and we want to do it in a way that is very honest and very transparent when it comes to clients and when it comes to team members.
Mhm.
So I think that sort of attracted a set of people who also were maybe looking for a similar kind of a venture to be part with. When it came to attracting clients, so our first 7 8 years business actually grew from references. And I don't know how we started getting those references, but we really didn't have any sales force, no, not even one salesperson for first 7 8 years. But we
Mhm.
were getting decent references, A, because the demand was growing for technology firm, and we were gaining reputation that we know what we are doing, and we do it at a very cost effective manner. So first 7 8 years growth was all driven by references. Um, then in 2015 with Paxcom, I got a bit lucky that I came in touch with people who are really good in sales, and they became part of our team. So now we have someone who likes sales, who's really good in sales, and they're able to drive sales. For me, it was, if I like something, I get passionate when I'm talking about it. And I
Mhm.
think somewhere it resonated with clients when we're talking about solving their problem. We're not looking at it as a business. We are actually looking at, hey, it's a technological challenging problem to solve, and we really wanted to solve it. And somewhere that resonated with clients and with team members that, our our focus was not business. Our focus was not numbers. Our focus was we really like solving problems.
Mhm. Got it. So all these years of entrepreneurship, I think you would have learned some lessons that were evergreen, persistent throughout your journey. Those lessons were applicable. So tell us some top 2 or 3 lessons that you have learned during your entrepreneurial journey that we can take away and probably apply to our ventures as well.
Yeah, so look, every venture is different. I'll just share what my experience across, because I got opportunity to work in 2 3 different ventures, so maybe something that is common across. So one is that um, I think you're not separate from it. You don't your team and you need to be one, all right? And then you need to trust your team. So you need to be trust in the sense that share bad news and good news with the team like you would share with your true partners. Don't think them as a separate. And my experience has been that certain times people are afraid that bad news should not be shared with the team members. But my experience has been that they actually get more motivated to take on the challenge, like you, versus getting afraid of a bad news or know what's going to happen. So my experience all that year has been that the team members and me, there is no difference. They are all entrepreneurs because they see the challenge like I do. So that's one which helps a lot. It also helps because then you build a really good support system, that you are not alone in the journey, because things will happen. Things go bad. We had a 2008 recession. And we are only like a 5 year old company by that time, and for a small company, recession could be a significant uh, down event. But it didn't happen. But it was not down event because the team members were actually not at all affected in terms of negative effect. Saying to everyone was saying, look, okay, we are in this together.
Mhm.
Let's try to build and write this together. So I think the first thing is that the team members and you need to be partners, true partners, equal partners, and you need to be able to share everything with them, good, bad. Be totally transparent with them.
Mhm. My final question, tell us what is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How would you define the term entrepreneur? Who is an entrepreneur, and what are the skill sets that makes an entrepreneur?
So I think entrepreneur is to me is someone who looks at a problem and thinks of his look, I can solve this problem, right? Versus looking at, okay, someone needs to solve this problem for me. And I think that's why I said, it's not like entrepreneur. I think we tend to glorify, people who founded the company as entrepreneurs, but I
Hmm.
think the team members are, if the team member is looking at a problem,
Hmm.
right, and look, this is a problem and I can solve this problem, or I want to solve this problem. To me, that's an entrepreneur. So, like, I truly believe that in our company, we are 100 entrepreneurs, not just one, because when we see a problem, we look at it and say, look, uh, let's see if I can solve this problem.
Got it. Well, on this note, I think we are at the end of the session. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Punit, and it was a pleasure to have you on our platform. And I would say my best wishes for Paxcom.
Thank you so much. Pleasant and very nice to be here. Thank you for having me. And good wishes for your venture, doing a good thing. So
Thank you.
spread the word.